Welcome back, everybody. We are in the dungeon. This is the area available inside the tower where you're allowed to fight anything that you've already fought before out in the real world. This is where I would farm for life force if I'm needing to imbue things, or if you're wanting to do the achievement for having just so much life force. I forget how much it actually wants you to have. The group I use is 5 blues and the rest greens. You then get to choose what you're wanting to fight. There are beetles of all 4 of the different colors. The battler beetles here at the top are the brown ones. You've got the dazzler beetles are the blue ones. And then down there at the bottom you've got the magma beetles for red and puff beetles for green. Battler beetles are the most common one that I would need to farm for, because that's some of the most useful for using in the life force in my opinion, and what I use for my primary fighters. So it's what I tend to go through the most of naturally. So that's what we're going to do. And then we'll go ahead and step down here into the arena. The opponents do all start on that far wall, and while they are bunched up, it's pretty easy to get them pulled out in much smaller numbers. They will not come across after you naturally. You do have to go and trigger them. So what I do is right here where it starts me, I switch to my blues and put them on a guard marker. Step forward to about where that marker is, switch to my greens, and put them on a marker so that they're just slightly in front of the blues. And then I run forward and actually get 4 or 5 of them mad at me and bring them back and let my greens ambush them. With the greens ambush ability, they can actually take care of them very, very easy. And any of your greens that do happen to die in the fight, you've got those blues set up right behind them to be able to bring them back. If I only get a couple like what I just did, I won't even fight with the greens. I will usually go ahead and head back out and get the next batch. A group this big, I may very well actually take some losses. You don't want to get quite this many at one time. The blues usually can get 2 trips to get some of the dead picked back up though, so even with that many I did not actually lose any permanently, I don't think. Yeah, all 30 are back. You can tell by the number up there in the upper right. If you have a bunch of losses over the course of one round, you will want to potentially pull some of the greens off of the back guard marker and put them back onto the front one. Any of the ones that the blues have to pick up and resurrect, instead of joining the guard marker they were already on, they actually join the same one that the blues are on. Each trip into the dungeon like this gets you 75 life force of whatever color it is you're currently working on. So even if you do take 5 or 10 losses of greens in a round, for one thing you'd have to be making a bit of mistakes to do that, or just be having a bit of a hard time with the game. Either way though, all you then have to do is do 1 round of the green beetles, and you get 75 green life force right back. I think I showed this basic strategy in an earlier video. I did want to come back now that I had higher numbers of minions to work with though, and show it really working the way it's supposed to. Like right there, I got the 75 life force with absolutely no losses. So now we'll head back out into the real world and move on. I'm going to move through here pretty quickly because he has some titles that you do not want to hear still. The reason he has titles that you're not ready to hear is because of a mistake I made corrupting my saves much earlier in the game. So I think I've already explained it. Just in case I haven't, because it's been so long since I've done some of the recordings, I have already done the second abyssal area with this save, so he has some spoilers for that area in titles that he already has for me. I'm going to be going to my save with my evil character, the one where I did do all of the corrupt actions, to let you see that abyssal area from where this one would have already finished it. Also, that will give me a chance to let you see what the castle will look like with an evil character, from where everything is darker. That save chose Rose instead of, not Rose, Velvet instead of Rose. And here is the main courtyard of the fortress here. Right here at the very beginning of it, the fight's pretty easy. They do have a bad habit of, when you get to certain areas, spawning dwarves, even though you had already cleared that area out. So you can't really ever be completely sure that there aren't any more that are going to come from behind you. Also, when I was choosing my minions to bring into this area, you might have noticed that I did bring one red minion with me. I do definitely recommend that, because in here there are going to be some of the flamethrower dwarves. And without a red minion, those are just very, very deadly. We'll wait for that bomb over there to go off before we'll head back out. There's a bag of gold right here, but as you start to head back out of this area, they have spawned a flamethrower guy over there. So, I need to send a red over, except I can't seem to get him to sweep without starting to attack a barrier. And my red died, so unfortunately that flamethrower guy is going to cause some major losses for me, probably. And now that we've done enough to set him off, we'll go ahead and get out of the way. We do have one more of the large guys, I forget what those are called, coming after us. Once we clear him out, we're going to go ahead and go and get that bag of gold. That will also give us a chance to rebuild all of our numbers from where that flamethrower did kill several minions. Once they're out of the way, there are several chests back behind them. That should give you some health back and some gold. And then we're going to go back with them so that we can get all of our dead minions back. That is one thing I did not think to warn you of in that area, is that with all of those little barricades that your minions can attack and tear down, sometimes if you try to sweep your minions somewhere, which is what I'd want to do to send a red out towards a flamethrower, I usually would sweep them so I can put them on a guard marker real easily and put them right in the path of the flames. It doesn't really work real good in that area, because as soon as you start to sweep them, if you're close to a barricade, they'll think you're telling them to attack it and immediately start hitting it. And with it being a red, as long as they get within throwing distance of when they think they're supposed to attack it. So it's real hard to move them in that area without having that happen. The only guy I see that's still up is there is one right up here above me that's throwing bombs down at me. I do not know of a way to get to him. He is sealed off there to where your minions can't reach him. You could of course kill him with magic, but I usually just go right by him. There's no need to kill him.
The statue has arrived in Jules' domain, sire. Your minions have escaped and are searching for a suitable tower gate.
And at this point they do spawn two more dwarves behind you. I do go ahead and turn around and wipe them out before moving on. The next couple of fights are fairly easy, but there is a fairly tough one just after those, so depending on how quickly you moved on, they could be hitting you in the back at a pretty bad time. So it's best just to go ahead and wipe them out when that's all you have to deal with. If they attacked you right here, it wouldn't be that big a deal. And right here wouldn't be that big a deal. But the very next fight after this one has not only a couple of the drunk dwarves, but one of the large ones with the big axe that can knock minions over, that is also drunk. But this is probably a pretty good stopping place for this video. And in the next video we will move on. I'm hoping to finish this area in it, but we will see. And I will see you next time.